Hey everyone, welcome to Dollar Triage. This is personal finance chat for first responders and healthcare workers, but everyone's welcome. We're going to field a question today from Delane. She was asking, is it better to pay off the debt? Is it better to save? Is it better to do both at the same time? And in kind of what ratio? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a hypothetical credit card here. This hypothetical credit card has a balance of $14,000 and an interest rate of only 14.39%. We'll keep it nice and low and modest. So we're going to take 5 years to pay it off, and that'll be 60 payments. So we can see the total cost of the loan will be about $20,000, just shy of that. So it's going to cost us $5,700 in interest on a $14,000 credit card. So that's just under 50% of our spending. So the total interest paid is almost going to be half of what we put on the credit card, which is insane. What we're going to do is we're going to plug this into different scenarios between saving and investing, different ratios, and we're going to see what we come up with. So our first scenario is going to be that credit card exactly paid off in 5 years with our monthly payment of $328. What we're going to do is we're going to match that into a brokerage account. We'll call it an index fund, annual return of 7%. So every month we'll be paying a $300 credit card payment, and every month we'll be investing $300. At the end of 5 years, we'll end up with no debt that will be paid off, and we will have invested $19,700. Because of compounding interest, that $19,000 will have turned into $26,000. So we'll have a profit of $6,000 on our investments. We'll have a $26,000 stock portfolio at the end of it with no debt. That's pretty rad, not gonna lie. So we're gonna try the snowball method in scenario 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split up our initial investing here. And we're going to take $100 and invest it. And then we're going to take another $100 and we're going to add that on top of the original credit card payment. So we're going to be paying $426 to pay this loan off faster, pay the credit card off faster. We'll end up paying it in 3.5 years just about. And that will land us having paid interest of only basically $4,000. So it saves us about $1,800 to pay it off a little bit quicker. $100 a month will save you $2,000 just about over the course of 3.5 years. That's pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the investments, $100 per month until we've paid off this credit card in 3.5 years. After 3.5 years, our stock investments will have accumulated interest and some growth, so we'll have a future value of $7,297. But we're not done. We're early. We paid this thing off. We got another 1.5 years to go to get to the 5-year mark. So we're going to take our monthly payment of $426 and we're just going to put it right in the stock market. We're not going to add anything. We're not going to change anything. We're just moving from paying off the credit card to investing for 1.5 years. Now with this $7,000 principal we had from the previous 3.5 years, we're going to be able to grow this to $16,000, which is pretty fantastic. That's great, actually. So at the end of 5 years, we'll have no debt and $16,000, but at the end of 3.5 years, we'll have no debt and $7,000. Being debt-free in 3.5 years will definitely help your credit score, and then you'll have a pretty good chunk of change there to grow. And that will give you a little bit more time. So I actually do like the snowball method. It's a viable option if that's something that's interesting to you. We're going to go with one and the other, mutually exclusive. So we're going to pay off this credit card like our hair's on fire. We're going to throw every penny we possibly can at it. So just for argument's sake, I made up a monthly payment of $526. We can afford that, and we're just going to do that every month. That will pay off this credit card in 2.75 years, so 2.75 years. This will actually save us a good chunk of change. We're going to save $2,700 on the interest versus paying it off in 5 years. So in 2 and 3/4 years, we'll be completely debt free. We're not investing anything because this is the mutually exclusive scenario. So we have zero stock portfolio, but we have zero debt in 2.75 years. So for the remaining 2.25 years, we're going to take that monthly payment from the credit card and we're going to throw that in the stock market. Same ETF, same investing, same 7% for 2.25 years. So after 5 years, we'll end up with $15,000, no debt, which it's a little bit less than the snowball method, but you get out of debt almost a year quicker, 3/4 of a year quicker. So I suppose whichever scenario is most appealing to you, if you want to be out of debt quicker and increase your credit score quicker, it appears that the kill the debt then invest method is the best. But if you want to do a little bit of both and end up with a little bit more money at the end of it, then the snowball method might get you a little bit further because that time in the market, right? Remember, time in the market beats timing the market. So you have this money invested longer, which is why we end up a little bit ahead. Those are paying off debt while we invest scenarios. Obviously, if you pay off debt and don't do anything, then you just end up with no debt eventually, but you also haven't grown anything. I like having the debt payments paired with an equal but opposite strategy to grow, because you need to be doing both at the same time, and this is why. So this is a scenario for just throwing cash in a savings account, because why not? We don't like investing, we don't want to learn about it, we're just going to throw it in the savings account and leave it there. Now the savings account will pay 0.05% because that's what most of them are paying. Sorry about the phone alert there. That's why you silence your phone when you're making a YouTube video. We're going to take our tax return that we got, $2,000, throw that in the savings account, so we're getting interest on it. It's going to be 5 years worth of 0.05%. So our $8,000 in the bank will grow to $8,012.39 for a total profit of $12.39. At the end of 5 years, you'll be debt free. You'll have paid $5,700 in interest to the bank that gave you the credit card, while the bank gave you $12.39 for giving them $8,000. That's not a great scenario. Not great at all. I mean, it's better than nothing. You do end up with $8,000 at the end of it. But let's look at the profits here. So savings account, you profit $12. 2.25 years of investing, you end up with $1,100. A combination of 5 years investing, you end up with $8,400, almost $8,500 for investing at different rates over 5 years. And investing a large chunk of change for 5 years, you profit $6,600. Again, compared to saving $12. So which is best? That is going to be up to you and what your situation is, what your scenarios are. There's pros and cons to each. And one thing I didn't mention, you might see the cash flow section here. This is basically how much the monthly payments between investing and debt paying will cost you. Scenario 4, the savings account scenario, does have some pros to it. It's the lowest amount of cash flow required, so if you're strapped for cash on a monthly basis, this might be an easy way to go. However, we can also see that investing that same $100 for 3.5 years, you end up with a profit of $3,000 as opposed to $12. The other pro to cash saving is you don't have to worry about investing. You don't have to set up a brokerage account. You don't have to learn about an ETF versus an index fund or stocks. You don't have to deal with any of that. So if you just want to set it and forget it, this is an option, and it won't get you very far, but it's the easy option and it's the cheap option. So looking at our chart with which is best, if you're looking for pure profit, obviously the best thing you can do is invest an equal amount to your debt payment. If you can afford it, if you can afford the cash flow, then that will get you by far the furthest. Now, if you want to do either the snowball method or kill the debt, then invest method, scenarios 2 and 3, they're roughly equivalent. They both cost about the same, $520 a month. They both net you at the end of 5 years about $12,000. And you're debt free a little bit quicker with the kill the debt, then invest by half a year. You get out of debt a little bit quicker. That's really going to be the only main difference. So if you're in a hurry to increase your credit score, put all your money on the debt, then invest once it's gone. If you're not in a hurry, you'll end up with just a little bit more. If you end up, you break even. So you do end up with more in the stock portfolio, but you pay more in the interest on the credit card, so you really break even. So it's just a matter of how quickly you want your credit score to go up. Thanks for watching. Cheers.